A home without plants is a barren place indeed. Let's talk about the top 5 reasons to own houseplants. What's up, fellow plant enthusiasts? My name is Dylan and this is Bane's Botanicals. Today we're going to be talking about the top 5 reasons to own houseplants. Now, I've done videos in the past about having too many houseplants, and I've also done a video on reasons that you want to get more houseplants. But this is really just a video about owning houseplants in general. Now, somebody who doesn't have any plants might be watching this video and think, I have a brown thumb. Every time I get a plant, it dies. I just don't know how to do it. I'm not any good at it. And I feel like I hear that at work so much. And I feel like the people that say that, they have a kid with them or they have a dog with them. And I'm thinking, you can take care of these complex individuals, these organisms that are infinitely more difficult to take care of than plants. So, I don't know. I just, using the dog as an example, like, you have to feed it all the time and you have to walk it and take it to the vet and it makes messes and chews things up. I mean, obviously I love dogs and they are such a rewarding experience. They're less expensive than kids and they're more interactive than cats. But I'm just saying, if plants learned how to take a dump on the floor, I think a lot fewer people would own them. Plants are really clean and they're just very low maintenance for the most part. And I would say that 60% of them are pretty straightforward and similar in care. So it's just about learning and embracing a new hobby, I guess. That being said, I think for me the number 5 reason is decorating. Like, houseplants are great to decorate with. They're good aesthetics. Anytime that you see a home in a magazine, there are plants in it just because it's an appealing thing. People want to see that greenery. They want to be around nature a little bit. They bring something to a home that fake plants don't. Fake plants make it feel like a doctor's office, even though most doctor's offices have real plants, but like, you know what I mean? Like, it just feels barren somehow. And a home without plants altogether is just sad, it seems like, to me. That's my opinion. But I remember going over to my friend's house when I was a kid and doing a sleepover, and his parents had no plants. And my mom, you know, those of you who follow me know that I got into houseplants because of my mom. She always had plants. They were all over the place. It was like having a jungle as a kid, which was a lot of fun. And going over to my friend's house and seeing no plants, it was just like something was missing. I couldn't put my finger on it because it was a really nice house, but it just, I don't know, it just felt quiet and empty. They also didn't have pets, and I grew up with dogs and cats and all kinds of stuff, so that was probably another thing. It's like, where's all the chaos of animals? But anyway, yeah, so plants, fun to decorate with. They make your house look good. Number 4 for me, there is a really big community of people that love houseplants, and making these YouTube videos has been really special for me because I've gotten to interact with people that I never would have met otherwise. And you guys are really the reason that I do this. I mean, yes, I started this to educate, and hopefully along the way somebody has learned something because, but really just the interactions are what I treasure about making these videos. So just in advance, thank you for that. I thank you every time at the end of a video, but thank you extra for commenting and making this worth it for me. And it's not just on YouTube. I mean, there are Facebook groups for houseplants. I'm part of 2, maybe 3 that are local so that I can kind of interact with people if I want to sell a plant or something, or if somebody else is selling plants. Like, it's a good way to kind of get out there and interact with people a little bit. Once a year, we didn't do one last year, but once a year we usually have a big like pitch-in and we all get together and set up tables and people come and sell their house plants. It's like, it's fun. It's a cool way to get cuttings from people and just, you know, I don't know, it's a lot of fun. But yeah, I encourage you, if you're into the plant hobby, find other people that are into it because it's a lot of fun to talk plants with people. Number 3, it's a healthy hobby. Now, of course, anything can be taken to the extreme, but in general, plant care is a really satisfying, rewarding hobby where you can take something and nurture it and help it grow and tend to it and just get a little smile when you see it and how green it is and how well it's doing. It's nice. And there's so many obviously good hobbies out there. I mean, using like crochet as an example. Like I have a friend that crochets a lot and she makes these beautiful sweaters and everything else. And it's kind of the same concept of like you crochet a sweater and you have this finished product that you're really proud of. You paint a picture or you play a song, and like seeing your plants thrive is the reward, and knowing that you helped do that it's really cool. So you can take it and say, well, I'm just going to own 5 plants and these 5 plants are going to be the best plants that they can ever be. Or you can end up like me, and I have, at the moment of this video, I probably have about 70 or 80. But you know what? I don't feel bad because some people that I see all the time at work have like over 200. So, hey, I'm not doing too bad. But yes, yeah, healthy hobby. What was number 2? Oh, yes. Number 2 is learning. And I can't stress this enough, how important learning is in life. Especially as we get older, our brains tend to just it's kind of like a muscle. Like if you don't work out a muscle, if you don't use your muscles, they atrophy. Like you stop being able to use them because they just kind of wither. And I think our brains are very similar. Like if we're not learning things and we're not using our brains, it just sort of atrophies, and I don't know, it's a scary thought to just kind of be existing, you know what I mean? Like you want to be passionate about something and learning and just constantly seeking things to like just study. And houseplants are a great way to do that, whether you're wanting to learn how to care for a bunch of different plants, whether you're wanting to learn a bunch about names and taxonomy, or you want to learn more about propagation and growing them like that, or you want to start a business, you want to start a YouTube channel, like whatever it is, whatever that reason is for you to learn more. I encourage that. I think that anybody that's a part of the hobby should want to learn more about it. With any hobby. I mean, like any hobby, you want to embrace your passions. Like don't just do them half-assed. Like you want to really love it. Talking about propagation, I don't even know why I have this, because I try to have plants in my videos, right? So like I've been doing a little bit of propagating. I've got a philodendron Rio here, which is kind of a hard to find plant a little bit. I've got some cuttings of that. And then I've got a baby green spider plant because the mother plant wasn't doing very well. So I took some cuttings, I rooted them in water first, and then I'm putting them in the soil until they've got enough roots that I can put them in maybe a 4 or 6 inch pot, depending on how big they get. So there is definitely a botany aspect to doing propagation. It can make you feel like a scientist just because you're kind of experimenting and doing things, and you have little beakers, and I've got my water prop stuff right there that are in the, well, they're not vials, they're not beakers either. What are those? Doesn't matter. But I've also got, when we're talking about decorating, I've got this Crassula perforata, I believe the species is. Just look at how bizarre this thing is. I think it's also called string of buttons is a common name. But I mean, it started out pretty small and it slowly started to just crawl over the pot. And for a second, I didn't like it anymore. Like when it wasn't growing like this, it was a lot shorter. And I'm like, I'm not really that impressed. But I'm like, I'm too lazy to get rid of it right now. So it's grown over the pot just within a few months. And now I love it. Like, I just think it's such a unique looking plant. And speaking of kind of unique plants, I also have this Pachypodium, laminari. I'm not very good with species names, to be honest, just because they're hard to pronounce. But Pachypodium, Madagascar palm, even though it's not a palm. But yeah, also very unique. These big, long, lanceolate leaves and the thorns on the inside you want to be careful about. But yeah, similar to a euphorbia, but not a euphorbia, obviously, it's Pachypodium, but they're both from Africa. So, and then I have this really bizarre looking philodendron. I had the species name written down. I have no idea what it is. Somebody write it in the comments if you know what this is. But just how long these leaves are. They're longer than my head. Like, just what a interesting, unique plant this is. And that's why I've kind of held on to it, just because, I don't know, you don't see many plants that have leaves like that. I think there's an anthurium with leaves like that. I forget what it's called, but they're really even longer than that. Anyway, where were we at? What were we talking about? Learning more. Yes, learn. I encourage you guys to learn about plants, about everything. You know, I always hear kids say, you know, oh, they're high school kids. Oh, I'm never going to need this. I'm never going to need math. I'm never going to need algebra or biology or whatever. And maybe you won't need it in life, but it's still doing something for your brain. Like, it's still working the synapses of your brain, and that in itself is important. So, yeah, that's all I have about that. The number one reason you should own plants is you're bringing nature in. And that is the original reason that houseplants became a thing at all. People wanted to bring nature to them, especially when they were in a big city. Let's flash back a little bit. We'll do a video on the history of houseplants, but let's flash back to like Victorian England. And London is just this really big city, even back then, and Industrial Revolution, and everything's like really, you know, kind of bleak and kind of dirty and everything. And that's one of the major points when houseplants really became popular. That's when people started putting things in glass cases like ferns and parlor palms and things like that, because they figured out how to keep those indoors more readily because glass was more available. Anyway, it's its own video. My point is that we want to be a part of nature as human beings and as a species on this earth. We are very much connected to nature. And when we live in these houses, in these modern places, in these big cities, and we lose touch a little bit. And it's important to not just have houseplants, but like it's also important to get out into nature. Go to the park, take a walk, you know, go walk through a field, do something, walk on the beach. You know, it does so much for our mental health to have plants and to be a part of nature. And the cool thing about houseplants, and the fact that, you know, the world is kind of globalized a lot more since the 1800s, is that I can have something bizarre like a pachypodium and keep it in my home, because otherwise I would never see this plant but maybe in a picture, because I don't plan on going into Madagascar anytime soon. It's just really far away. Interestingly enough, I do have Madagascar hissing cockroaches also. They should be in a video as well. But yeah, it's so cool that we can get all of these species from all over the world and see them and touch them and be a part of their existence and have them, be a part of their existence and have them be a part of our existence. And I think that's just really important. I say the same thing about animals. Like, it's really nice to have pets because it's not just like a companion, but it's another living thing. You know, I have those roaches not because I think they're cool, I mean they are, but it's because it's another living thing. It's doing its thing. They eat, they breathe, they want to thrive just like the rest of us. So it's cool to hold one and be a part of that, I guess. I don't know. This video got really abstract, but hopefully it's connecting with you guys on some level. But yeah, I think that's about all I had. Anybody who already has plants that's watching this video is like, absolutely, to all of these. They're like, duh, these are so obvious. But I guess this is more of a video for people that are just getting started, or maybe they haven't started yet, or maybe for all of you plant enthusiast veterans, you know, this is just a reminder of why we do this, of why we are in this hobby together. So yeah, I think that's all I have. Sorry for rambling. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you guys for subscribing and keeping up with my videos and everything. And of course, as I said, for your comments and letting me be a part of your life as much as you are a part of mine. So yes, Thank you, and until the next video, I will see you soon. Thank you.